Hey everybody, nice to have you all here. I am Richard Kasperowski. I'm visiting you from Boston in the United States, and it's morning time, and I have my morning tea here with me. So yeah, we're going to be talking about things like psychological safety and emotional intelligence, and I'll start sharing my screen, and we can proceed. You can all see my screen, right? Oh, I think we have
Yes, yes,
chat, and I think, let's see, is there a way that we can communicate to each other in chat? Yeah, I think so.
yes. There is chat, there is Q&A, so everybody can
Hello,
ask
everyone,
questions or yes.
like that. So, as we go, if there's anything you want to ask, if there's anything you'd like to add, just type something in chat. I'll do my best to follow the chat. Let's see. Also, yeah, I'm American. Not only am I American, but I'm from Boston. This means that sometimes I speak really quickly. Sometimes I speak too fast. If if I'm speaking too fast, let me know in chat, and I'll repeat what I said, or I'll try to slow down a little bit. I read a study once that said people in Boston are the fastest speakers in English. I don't know if that's true, but sometimes I get carried away. So we're going to look at high performance teams and how to get high performance teams. We're going to talk about the science. The science includes topics like psychological safety and emotional intelligence. It's psych safety and EI. And more than that, we're going to look at practical ways to get there. So these practices called the core protocols are habits we can build individually and together to guide us to getting more psychological safety and emotional intelligence and better teams. So I'm Richard Kasperowski. In addition to chat, you've got a lot of contact information down here in the bottom of the screen. This is because you're invited to keep in touch with me. I would love it if you messaged me or emailed me or connected with me on LinkedIn, and we can keep the conversation going after today. If you have a question or a comment about anything, you can ask it as we go in chat, or you can ask me later. And you have all the ways to ask me later right here. I run a program called Certified Agile Team Building, where we teach people and coach people and mentor people on high performance team building, on the usual Agile and Scrum and Kanban foundations, as well as on product owner specific skills and technical skills. So everything, this is sort of like full stack agility, everything you would need to know to have a great team building amazing products that people love. We will be doing some interactions. We'll be doing these interactions using Mentimeter. To participate with us, you could type menti.com into your web browser and then type that code 63754339. Or maybe you have a web browser that looks like this, and your web browser has a camera on it. That's cool, huh? My web browser has a camera. I bet yours does too. And you could aim your web browser's camera at that QR code, and it would take you to this Mentimeter. When you get there, try it now. See what happens. And when you get there, tap or click one of those icons and let us know that you're here. I knew it would work. We'll wait a moment for more of us to join. This is sort of a professional facilitator tip. I'm not really thirsty. I'm just pausing on stage by taking a sip of tea to give you some time to join us. All right, a lot of us are here. If you're not here yet, don't worry. That information will be at the top of the screen whenever we have an interaction in Mentimeter. So this is about great teams, but not just great teams. This is about the best teams. Think back to the best team of your life, some team that you were a member of. And when I say team, what I mean is any group of 2 or more people aligned with a common goal. Right? So think back to any group of 2 or more people that you have been a part of and that you've had common goals with. What's the best one of those you've ever been a member of in your entire life? So try to identify that best team. And let's take ourselves back to that best team of our lives. That best team of your life. Okay, aside from me, I'm the only one with my camera on. Everybody else is totally safe. Your camera is off. Nobody can see you. Try closing your eyes. It would look like this. And let's all take ourselves back to that best team of our lives. Whatever that best team of your life was, take yourself back to it. With your eyes closed. Take a look at the people on that team. Look at their faces. This is, in your mind, in your brain. Look around the room or the space, wherever you are with that group of people, that best team of your life. Who are they? You see their faces, you see the color of their hair, you see the color of their eyes. You can see their noses, you can see their chests, inhaling and exhaling. Bring them to life in your mind. So you can see them. What do you hear? Bring more senses into this. What do you hear when you're with that group, that best team ever? What does it sound like? Is there the hum of an air conditioner or a heater? Is there the sound of a car outside? Maybe some birds or the leaves rustling in the trees, depending on your best team ever and where you are. What does it feel like? Is there anything tactile? Can you feel a piece of paper or a pen? Or maybe the way the air moves across your face, can you feel that? What does it sound like? We did that. We've got vision, we've got sound, we've got touch. Can you smell anything? What other senses can we bring into this? Is there a scent in the air? Can you smell the kitchen or the canteen? Is there any food cooking? Do you have a coffee or a tea? Can you smell that while you're with your group? And now do that activity, whatever that activity is that you were doing with that best team of your life. Right? This best team of your life, this could be a work team from today or a work team from the past. It's any group of 2 or more people. It could be a non-work team. A sports group, a musical group, a theater group, a religious group, a nonprofit organization, you and some friends. For me, it's me and my wife. Your best team, whatever it was, that activity that you do together, do that activity right now in your mind. And as you're doing that activity, with that group, that best team of your life, what does it feel like within you? What is the sensation within your body with that best team, all those people? And if you could summarize that sensation in one word, in any language, what would that one word be that describes the best team of your life? Let's collect these words. What's the one word that describes the best team of your life, or the sensation within yourself of that best team of your life? Will you share that word with all of us in Mentimeter through your web browser? And on this chart, if people typed the same word more than once, it's bigger than the other. So support is our biggest word here. We have relief, we have fun, dance. Maybe you were literally dancing, maybe it felt like a dance. Trust, togetherness, synchronized, a union, calmness, hope, relief, will, acceptance, success. This is what it feels like to be on a great team. No matter who I ask, no matter where we are in the world, this is what people say. We've all had this experience, this kind of experience, and we all know what it feels like to have a great team, to be a part of a great team. This is the qualitative sensation of being on a great team. This is what it feels like. And I've been on some really good teams, just like you have. And I've been on some pretty bad teams, some mediocre teams, just like you have, I'm sure. On those best teams of my life, I look back and I realize I got lucky. We didn't really know what we were doing to get into that state of being such a great team. We knew a few things. We tried a few things, but we weren't very intentional about it. And we really got lucky. So for the last 10 or 15 years, I've been pursuing this and sharing this pursuit with people and sharing this pursuit with you right now. How to get to this on purpose, how to get back into the best team of our lives again on purpose with any group of people we care about. So that's what this is about right now. We're gonna look at some of the science and research on teams, and I'll share with you some habits we can build, some skills that we can build to get this again on purpose. This will be practical. We're going to practice a subset of something called the core protocols, and we might even have a little bit of fun. Sometimes when I'm sharing this with people, I say it like this, and especially when I'm sharing this with my university students. At some point, you're going to have a problem with your teammates. And this is a practical guide to help you overcome those challenges so that you can have a great team that builds awesome products that people love all the time. We'll start looking at the science and research on teams. The science and research on teams, this story became easy to tell. Starting about 5 years ago, the New York Times published this story, what Google learned from its quest to build the perfect team. This was a story about people at Google studying teams, looking at the research on teams that's been published in the research journals, and noticing that the researchers have discovered way too many things about teams to be able to use the information effectively on your team. That over the last 50 or 60 years, various researchers have found something like 250 different attributes of teams that lead to team success. 250 things is too many. You know, when we do retrospectives, we try to find one thing that we can do to help our team be better. Because if there's one thing that we can do to help our team be better, we have a chance of accomplishing it. But if there's 250 things, it's too many, and we probably won't do any of them. So at Google, they reproduced this research. They got about 200 teams to volunteer to participate in reproducing the research. And they measured these teams on various attributes from the literature and on their performance. And what they found as they reproduced the research at Google was there was one thing that mattered more than anything else. It was this characteristic that we call psychological safety. Psychological safety is a sensation that we feel safe here in our heads and here in our hearts when we're with our teammates. We feel safe. We feel like we can show up as who we really are, as our true self. We can say what's really on our mind and really in our heart. We can take risks with each other. We can be vulnerable, as it says on the chart. We can admit we don't know something. We can ask for help on something we don't know or something we're not good at yet. We can make mistakes and we don't get blamed for having made a mistake. In fact, it's more like an opportunity to learn something new. We can try out a new role in the team or in the organization. And it's okay that we don't know everything about that new role yet. it's safe to learn and get good at it. And this totally corresponds with the research on teams. And the research on teams that measure high on psychological safety measure high on performance. Now, sadly, this is where the research ends. The research is measure a lot of things, notice the strong correlations, and tell people what we noticed in those strong correlations. There's a strong correlation between psychological safety and performance. But in the research, there's no guidance. There are no instructions for how to get psychological safety. So it ends there. And this cuts across all industries and all cultures. Here's an example from dentistry. My dentist got excited about this one day and showed me the magazine in her office. And in the dental office magazine, they were telling dentists that if your team at your office feels safe together, if they have high psychological safety, your business will be more successful. This is all industries, all people, everywhere. I shared the Google story with a colleague, Steve Wolf. He hadn't heard the Google story, but he knew all about psychological safety. Steve is the co-author of some research with Vanessa Drucker. They were looking at a broader topic called group emotional intelligence or team emotional intelligence. Team emotional intelligence includes psychological safety. Psych safety is a subset of Team EI. Team EI is a broader concept. It includes the ability to understand how I'm feeling, how we're feeling as a group, to control my behavior personally so that I get the right outcomes for myself and for all of us together, that we as a team behave appropriately to get all of the outcomes that we want together, and that we understand what's going on outside of our team. We understand how the system around our team works, the bureaucracy if it's a huge organization. And we know how to navigate within that and influence other people to do the right thing so that we can accomplish our goals in our team and we can help others in the organization accomplish their goals. We can all accomplish our goals together. Teams that measure high on team emotional intelligence, they also measure high in performance. There's a strong correlation. This includes psychological safety. And again, because this is more like research and less like instruction, that's pretty much where it ends. That there are no instructions for how to build higher emotional intelligence as a team. Then there's a related body of work. This body of work is called the Core Protocols. This is the work of Jim McCarthy and Michele McCarthy. They worked with teams. They worked with some mediocre teams, some really great teams. As part of their work, they started up a team research lab. And in their lab, they experimented with teams. They got people to volunteer to participate in their experiments. What they did in their lab was invite teams to join them. They would give a team an assignment and 5 days to get it done. You get an assignment and a deadline. And they conducted observational research. The first 5 times they did this, they watched teams at work. Some of those teams were very successful. They noticed that the successful teams had common behaviors. They had some way to share how they were feeling with each other. They had some way to make decisions effectively and resolve conflict, and they had other shared behaviors. They hypothesized that if they could teach people these behaviors that they observed on successful teams, then those teams would be successful as well. So then they started experimenting. They had the same setup in their experiment. They invited people to the lab, they gave them an assignment and 5 days to get it done. And they introduced a variable, teach people these behaviors that they observed on successful teams. Every time they did that, the teams were successful. So what they thought they noticed, what they did notice was that there are repeatable ways, repeatable behaviors that you can use on your team to be more successful together. They wrote down these behaviors as scripts that we could follow to make them easy to follow, to make them easy to build as habits, to make them easy to do together as a group of humans. They called these scripts protocols. A protocol is a defined way for a group of people to communicate clearly. So there are no misunderstandings, and so we accomplished our mutual goals. So they wrote down these behaviors as protocols. They call them the core protocols. They're the smallest set of protocols that you might need to have a successful team. There's 11 of these behaviors. And in my work with Steve Wolf, we've noticed that everything that gets measured in team emotional intelligence and psychological safety, for everything that gets measured, there's a corresponding protocol. There's a corresponding behavior. That these behaviors, these protocols, seem to induce higher team emotional intelligence. They induce this sensation of psychological safety, and they induce higher performance. So here's another way to look at that. If you want a high-performing team, you probably do. It's why you're here spending a few minutes together with me. Then you want psychological safety. This is the research on this is really solid. And psychological safety is a subset of team emotional intelligence. You definitely want team emotional intelligence. And to get there, you're going to need some set of practices to do it. The core protocols are one set of practices that you could use to build higher team EI, to build a higher psych safety, and to get a high-performing team. So let's try this now. We'll look at the practical skills for this. I start by, well, I build these up as a stack of building blocks to help organize them. The first building block is called positive bias. By positive bias, what we mean is we're careful about the words we use. We're careful about the way we behave. We're careful about our body language. We're careful about our tone of voice. We don't automatically say no to each other. We give each other the opportunity to share what they are thinking without telling them they're wrong right away, because maybe they're right. We pretend that what they're saying might be the truth. And you know, you could try this too. You could pretend that what I'm saying might be the truth and it might work for you, at least long enough to try it out yourself. One of the ways we do this is through an activity. And we just experiment with this to see what it feels like. I encourage you to try this activity later on. Maybe you could try it today or tomorrow with a friend. And the idea is, in this activity, you try to make a plan for lunch. And as you're making your plan for lunch, you only respond to each other saying, yes, but. Every time you respond to your friend, you say, yes, but. And then you finish your response. So if we were making a plan for lunch, it might go like this. You'd say, hi, friend, let's get lunch tomorrow. And your friend would respond starting with yes, but. Your friend would say, yes, but we're in different cities. It's not going to be possible to have lunch tomorrow. And you'll say, yes, but there's this amazing invention. It's called video conferencing, and we could use Zoom to have lunch together tomorrow. And your friend would say, yes, but I'm tired of doing things on Zoom. I've been doing this for 18 months. I need a break. Yes, but, blah, blah, blah. Yes, but, blah, blah, blah. You do that for about a minute, and you see what happens. The next thing you try is repeating that, but saying yes and to each other. So every time you try to do the same thing, make a plan for lunch, but at this time you say yes and to each other. It would go like this. Hi, friend, let's get lunch tomorrow. And your friend would say, yes, and even though we're in different cities, there's this amazing invention, video conferencing. We could meet together over Zoom. And you'd say, yes, and even though I'm tired of Zoom, for you, I would do this. Yes, and even though we're not in the same place, we could even eat the same food. It would feel like we're together. And be like, yes, and that food could be blah, blah, blah. Yes, and blah, blah, blah. Yes, and blah, blah, blah. Try this and see what happens. Do this with a friend or a coworker. Maybe you have a coworker who is a friend. See what happens. Most people report that the yes, but version feels like no. That we're actually saying no to each other. Yes, but is a way to disguise that you're saying no. that we're putting up a wall between each other where it feels uncomfortable. We're getting in each other's way. Yes, and on the other hand, feels like we're creating something together. It feels more fun. If we were in physical space and we were doing this, you would hear people laughing. They're having fun. They're giggling as they do this. And they're coming up with ideas that neither one of them had at the beginning, that they're amplifying each other's creativity. And they're coming up with ideas that are better and better and better. This is what we want on our work teams. This is what we want in any group of people that we're part of. We want things to get better and better and better. It could be as simple as saying and instead of but. So that's something for you to try with your group. Positive bias. Be careful about the words you use, your tone of voice, your body language. Think about the outcome that you want and do the right things to get there. That's positive bias. We add on to that with freedom. What we notice is that on high-performing teams, the people on the team have freedom. They have autonomy. They get to decide who they're with, what work they're doing, how they're doing the work. In the core protocols, we've got 2 behaviors and a set of agreements that help build freedom. The core commitments are a set of agreements that help us get there. We've got short URLs for all of these here, casper.co/core commitments, casper.co/pass, casper.co/co. The core commitments could be your default set of team agreements if you don't already have team agreements, or you could add them on to your team agreements. They say things like, we'll try using the core protocols to guide us toward having a better team. And we'll take a look at these actual behaviors here right now. So pass, for example. Pass is this behavior that helps us get freedom. The idea is that anytime you don't want to do something with your team in the moment, you can opt out. You can pass. You do it by saying, I pass. And if that's a team agreement, and it should be your team agreement, then everybody knows what you mean when you say, I pass. Oh, and you can do this in any language as long as you all know what you're saying to each other. There's no magic about doing this in English. When you say I pass, or the equivalent, what you're telling your teammates is you're opting out of the activity right now, but you're still part of the team, and you still care about the team. The team is still important to you. An example of this is that it might be your turn at the daily scrum or the daily stand-up, and you just say, I pass. The next person takes their turn. They don't ask you why you're passing. They don't try to make you do it anyway. They don't bother you. They don't harass you for having passed. They just let you pass. This gives you freedom. Checkout is like that, but it's even stronger. It's like maybe you can't be 100% engaged with the team right now. So here's something we notice when we watch the best teams at work. When we watch the best teams at work, every person is 100% there. Every person is 100% with the team. They're not a little bit with the team and a little bit doing email. A little bit with the team and a little bit messaging a friend. They're not doing that. On mediocre teams, they're doing that. On the best teams, they're totally there, 100% there with their teammates, doing whatever the activity is together. If you ever find that you can't be 100% there with your teammates, well, now you have a choice. Change what you're doing so that you can be fully there, fully present, or make yourself 0% present. Make yourself absent with your team and go do the other more important thing. This is called checking out. So you just say, I'm checking out, and you go do that other more important thing. And then maybe you come back later and rejoin the team. Maybe there's something important you have to do for a customer. Maybe there's an issue in production and you have to go take care of it. Maybe there's a bug that you have to fix right now. Maybe you just don't feel right and you're not helping the team be productive in the moment. So you excuse yourself from the team. You check out and you come back when it's right. What we notice is that when people are fully in on the team performs better. So if you want that for your team, consider using these two behaviors, pass and check out. Then we add on to that with self-awareness. We notice that on the best teams, the members of the team have high self-awareness. They know themselves individually. They know who they are. They know how they're feeling. They know what's important to themselves. And we've got some behaviors to help build self-awareness. Check in, ask for help, and personal alignment. Let's take a look at some of these. So try this activity yourself. Get a piece of paper, get a pen, or do this in a digital notebook. It doesn't matter. Maybe try the paper and the pen. Using physical objects, bring more senses into it. Using your tactile senses. This might be better for you than just using a keyboard and a screen all day. Ooh, you can even smell this. This is, my computer smells the same all the time, but yeah, oh, that ink has a scent. Try doing something that brings more senses into your day. Finish this sentence. I feel blank. How do you feel right now? What's going on within your body? What's going on within your brain and your heart? How do you feel right now? Complete the sentence in any language, using any words you want. How do you feel right now? And then this is Bosnia Agile Week. We're all agile people. We love to do things in iterations. Here's the second iteration. Now it's multiple choice. How do you feel right now? But pick one of these words, or more than one of these words. Pick from this list. I feel glad, sad, mad, or afraid. And again, it doesn't matter if it's English. Do it in whatever language you like. How do you feel right now, and which one of these words is closest to how you feel? And then add on whatever extra information would help explain, maybe to a friend, how you're feeling. How can you explain this all to somebody else? If you feel glad, what is going into that gladness? If you feel sad, what is going into that sadness? If you're mad or angry, what else about that mad or angry? If you're afraid, what else about that afraid? How are you feeling right now? Let's collect some data. This is believable. As a group, we have every one of the 4 fundamental emotions represented amongst us. This is a fully human group together right now. We've got a lot of glad, a little bit of sad, a little bit of mad, a little bit afraid. This is normal. And there's nothing wrong, there's nothing negative about sad or mad or afraid. These are emotions that we feel. This is human. Oh, and you could do something like this with your team, right? This is a very simple and safe way to share with each other as a group how we are feeling and build up a little bit of team emotional intelligence. And here's another way. This protocol, this script is called check-in. We notice that on high-performing teams, team members share with each other how they're feeling. There's a lot of science backing this up. That on high-performing teams, people are full humans. We share how we're feeling with each other. It's not just about ideas and things in our brain, it's about things in our heart. When we do this, we perform better as a group. We're more creative. We're more connected with each other. We get more stuff done. We get it done at higher quality. We actually care about what we're doing together. Here's the script for doing this. And you could try this anytime you're with teammates or anybody you care about. You could do it at your daily stand-up, your daily scrum, or anytime you want. Everybody takes a turn. Everybody takes a turn being the speaker. When it's your turn, you say to the rest of the team how you feel. You just say, I feel glad, sad, mad, or afraid. It's easy because it's multiple choice. You could add on, oh, you don't have to do this. Remember, everything is optional. You could pass. And step 4 here is you just tell them you're done. You say, I'm in. That tells your teammates you're done sharing how you're feeling. They say welcome. That just means they heard you. And then somebody else takes a turn. Here's an example. Oh, and you can repeat these steps 1 and 2, as many times as you want. For example, I feel glad. I slept well. I ate breakfast already. I have some tea here. My wife greeted me with a smile this morning. My little doggy greeted me with a smile. Each one of them gave me a kiss. I'm sad. Am I sad? I usually go through the list. Am I sad about anything? I'm sad that we can't actually be together in physical space right now. That would be really fun. I miss you. I miss being together with other humans in physical space. I'm mad about that too. I'm mad that we can't do that. And am I afraid? I'm not afraid right now. And then I finish that off by saying, I'm in. I'm in. And you all say welcome. We could do this. We're doing this right now. I'm the only one on camera. We could do this typing to each other. If you want to say welcome or, acknowledge you, I heard you, whatever you want to say, you could type that in chat. We could do this synchronously like we're doing it right now. We could do this asynchronously. There's so many ways we could do this. The important thing is that we have a way to identify what we're feeling individually and to share it with each other. And on teams that do this, they outperform other teams. Here's another activity to try on your piece of paper with your pen. Complete this sentence. And really do this. I can't see you. Your camera is turned off. But if you want to get the most from this session, try this activity right now. I want blank. What is the most important thing in the world to you right now? This is a big, big want. This is a bigger want than, I want afternoon. I want a coffee. I want a cup of coffee. That's nice. But think big. This is big. Like, I want world peace, or I want COVID eradicated, or I want whatever is the biggest, most important thing for you. What is that thing that you want more than anything else? Your biggest goal in life, biggest, most important thing for you and the people you care about the most. What is your biggest want? And then our second iteration of this, a question about this. If that's the biggest, most important thing in the world to you, you should have it already. You should be spending all your energy and time focused on that, and you should have it. But if you are honest about it, you don't have it yet. It's a big want. It's a goal that you haven't achieved yet. Why don't you have it? What's blocking you? What's in your way? What is preventing you from having that big, important thing in your life? Answer that question for yourself right now. What's in your way? Why don't you have it yet? And here's the second iteration of I want blank. This time it's multiple choice. Here are your choices: self-awareness, integrity, courage, passion, peace, presence, self-care, fun, wisdom, or health. Fill in the blank with one of those words. And imagine that if you were all powerful in that word, if you had all the presence that exists in the universe, if you had all the fun or all the wisdom that the universe could offer you, if you had all the integrity or courage or passion that there is, it would eliminate everything that's blocking you, and you would get what you want. Which one of those words would it be? This could be like a future superpower. You know, if one of these words were your superpower, if you were integrity man, or if you were wisdom woman, you know, it would eliminate everything that's blocking you. You could destroy everything in your way, and you could get everything you want. Which one of those words would it be for you? Write down your answer. I want blank. Fill in the blank with one of those words. We'll call that your personal alignment. This is one of these protocols. What we notice on high-performing teams is that people know what they want, and that they have a way to pursue it. They know what the next step is. They don't necessarily know everything, but they know what the next step is. Along with this, what is your next step? Or how could you practice this skill every day? Fun. What could you do every day that would help you have more fun? What could you do every day to give you more self-awareness, if that's the one you picked? Or more peace, or more health, or more presence, or more courage? What could you do every day to build that skill? And is there anything you could say to other people on your team or other people you care about to ask them to support you while you're building that skill, to get their help on it? And try that after this session. See what happens if you practiced one of these skills and even shared with somebody you care about that you're building up this skill. What would that be like? What is your future superpower? Which one of these is your future superpower that would eliminate everything that's in your way and get you everything you want? And along with that, think about how you would practice it every day. How could you practice health every day? How could you practice peace every day? What would it look like to a friend if your friend saw you practicing wisdom or integrity? How could somebody know that you were practicing courage or self-care? What would it look like? And then do that every day. So in our group, we're going to have all the skills. We're going to be a super group. A super healthy group, a peaceful group, a passionate group, a courageous group with high integrity and self-awareness. We will be wise and fun, and we will take care of ourselves. Can you imagine if we did all those things, how amazing we would be together? That's all it would take. All right, the next thing that we notice on the best of the best teams is that the teammates are connected with each other in a cohesive whole, right? We're not just self-aware individuals. We're connected together. We become one, a group of people acting as one. That's a high-performing team. Those behaviors for self-awareness are also behaviors for connecting with each other. When we check in, when we share how we're feeling, we're connecting with each other. When you ask somebody else for help, you're connecting with them. Personal alignment. When we practice our personal alignments together, we're connecting with each other. And then intention, check, and investigate. These are ways to, well, they're related to positive bias. Intention check is about asking what's going on when you don't understand something, when somebody is bothering you or something made you angry. trying to understand it more. And investigate is very similar. Investigate is about curiosity, about asking your teammates to tell you more, to help you understand more about what's going on within a teammate or what's going on in the work you're doing. The kinds of questions you might ask when you're curious are questions like, when you say peace, what does that mean to you? How would you practice integrity? What would it look like? When you wrote that code, what were you hoping the outcome would be? Just asking open questions where you don't know the answer yet, where you're not guiding anybody to a particular answer. These are ways to connect with each other deeper. Sometimes we call these sorts of questions big talk. I'm American, which means I am an expert at small talk. I could talk about the weather with somebody all day. Or I could talk about sports, baseball or football or ice hockey. We could do that all day. That's small talk. Big talk is like, what's the most important thing in your life? What's in your way? What could you pursue to get those things out of the way? What would that look like if you were pursuing it? That's big talk. Try big talk with your teammates and with people you care about. What this ends up looking like is this scary word, love. If you look at the best of the best teams, they love each other. And by love here, we mean friendship. If you watch a great team at work, it looks like a group of people who care about each other a lot. And these behaviors, these protocols help build this sensation of love or intense friendship. We start with positive bias. When we get together with the best group of our lives, it's because we want to accomplish something together. And we have freedom. We get together with them because we choose to. And we check in, we share how we're feeling with each other on those best teams of our lives, those best relationships. And we pursue our greatest goals together, and we investigate. We use big talk, and we connect deeper and deeper, faster and faster. This is what it's like to be on a great team. And these are some of the tools that can help us do it. And for some people, this is a little weird, so, we can just write it down as code, and you could run this code in your brain. From there, we add on practices for productivity, how to make great decisions, how to resolve conflict, how to ask for and give and receive feedback, and how to handle it when we accidentally or on purpose break our agreements with each other. How do we handle it when problems occur? I encourage you to look at the rest of the core protocols in more detail, or ask me for help. I'd love to do more of this with you. I'm curious, what was the most important thing you heard this morning or this afternoon? What was the most interesting thing you heard or the most important thing you learned?
For me, it was definitely the past concept, and I'm going to try that with my teams. Although I already see some challenges there, for example, refinements of new features that we want to develop and to add to our products that we work on together as a team tend to be a bit, let's say, a complex process because of all the discovery process about what the feature should be, technical complexity, etc. And not everyone is in the mood to do refinement when it's the moment it's needed. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that in 50% of the cases, people would be using the past concept in this scenario. However, we still have this work that we have to do, and we have deadlines. So how to balance?
Yeah, what a great question. So that's something to explore with the team, right? This is the power of the team. And, I could give you an answer, right? The best answer that I could give you is ask the team.
Yeah. First thing that comes to my mind, for example, would be to have some boundaries to the past concept, but it's no longer the past concept.
Then it's no longer
there is
past,
there is no longer freedom.
I would here's sort of a script I would follow. I would share how I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mad or I'm scared that we're not going to do this work that's important. Um, I'm curious about how you're feeling. I want to know more about what's going on when this is happening within our team, and what could we do to make it better, right? And so as key takeaways, we've got pretty much all the things. There is science and research. We can raise psych safety. We can raise team EI. What we're really going for is friendship. And if you had something else, I'd love it if you'd shared that with me at some point in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And then more key takeaways, of course. If you want a high-performing team, you definitely want team EI. You definitely want psych safety, and you want a way to do it, some habits you could build. And core protocols are one set of habits you could build, because you will have some problems, and this can help you overcome them. And just wrapping up, if you want to learn more, you could visit my website. You could ask me for help anytime. You could visit this website called thecoreprotocols.org. All of the stuff is totally free. This blue book, you can get a copy of this blue book and an ebook for free by visiting my website. We do a lot more free things. Later on today, I'm doing a free office hour if you want to join me there. Every Wednesday, we do a free office hour to talk, to have conversations, to ask and answer questions like the one we just heard. Once a month, we do the Agile Dojo, where we practice activities to learn more about Agile and to get work done. On November 10th, we're doing a class to learn these skills more deeply and to be able to turn them into habits. We're doing a class on a technical class. That's another one of the things I do. So we're doing a technical session later on in November. You could book any one of these classes for your teams, or you could come join one of these public classes.
Okay, these public classes, are they online or offline?
These will all be online, right? So,
Okay,
so everybody
that's
here,
good.
you can come. There's no travel involved. Also, I want to ask you for help. Give me feedback on this. And here's how. Just back on your web browser, answer 3 questions for me. If you want to, you could pass, of course.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 questions are: give this session a score from 1 to 10. 10 would be like you think it's the best session ever. Tell me what you liked about it, and tell me what else it would take to be even better. Those are the 3 questions. And I'll just pause there for 30 seconds to give you a chance to get started on that. And if you're there, keep going. And I'll just wrap up by saying thank you. You have my contact info here again, so if you have any other questions or comments, just ask. And that's it. Thank you so much for having me. Enjoy the rest of the conference today. I hope you have a great time. Try using some of these ideas today at the rest of the conference. Maybe share how you're feeling with somebody. Maybe ask somebody an open question. Maybe ask somebody one of these big talk questions. What's the most important thing in the world to you? And see what happens.